Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie and today I'm going to play with the December Time Traveler box by Beadbox Bargains. I love these colors. It's a good mix and very interchangeable. So I was playing with a few beads and so I came up with an earring pattern I'd like to do, and then just a basic, this could be a bracelet or a necklace pattern. I'm probably going to make a necklace pattern out of it. So I just wanted to give you some basic steps and how to do this. And you can create your own any way you like and have a lot of fun with it. So I'm going to start off with a necklace. Basically, I'm just going to use bead wire and my wire cutters, my pliers. I also added, I had some stash, so I added some jump rings, some double-sided crimp covers, some crimp beads, and some ear wires. I also went ahead and decided to use a different clasp because I feel like these beads are more Victorian, so I thought I'd go with the Victorian theme. And we got some links here. I think they're quite pretty. Some basically bronze beads. Look at those. A lot of detail. I love the dotted pattern on this one. So let's get started. Okay, so I've laid out some beads in the pattern that I'd like. I'm going to do them in sections, and I'm going to attach them to the links here. So I'm just going to pull out some thread a little bit longer than what I need for a section. Okay, so the way I'm going to start is I'm going to have to bring down my magnifying glass out of camera so I can see because I'm old. And I'm going to add a crimp bead. And basically I'm going to loop this upward through the crimp bead. Grab my pliers and pull them up a little bit and then pull this down. You don't need much hanging out of it, you know, because you're going to use the crimp bead as the stopper, but just go like that and smash it down. Okay, that looks like that'll hold just fine. Should have started out with a crimp cover first, but that's okay. I still got time to add it on. But when I get to the other side, I'll definitely have to add it on first. Okay, so this method is pretty sturdy, and you know, it just tucks the crimp bead away inside of it. See, I'm going to trim my wire here, maybe just 1/16 of an inch, as long as you crimp it down tightly, it's not going anywhere. Okay, and then I'm just going to close it with my fingers. Okay, and then I like to just kind of do this just to make sure it's sturdy. Okay, so I'm going to start with a section, so I guess I'll start here. So I started out with an orange bead, and I'm trying to mix as many colors as I can just because I like it that way. I like the range of colors with the oranges and the greens, and you know, the bronze go nicely with the greens. Okay, so this is my pick for this necklace. And I guess I'll just start a series and, you know, just work on the box and see what I can come up with. And try to use up the beads. Also have a companion bundle coming, so I'm excited about that. Okay, so next I'm going to add my orange bead, a green, and let's see, I want some bead caps on the big flower bead. Aren't those pretty? Those are nice ceramic beads. And that ties in the green and the orange together nicely. I think Bead Box Bargains had a good pick for this month. Okay, so I'm just going to continue on putting my beads on. They don't have to be on really tight. You know, you want your beads to be fluid in a necklace. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Okay, what do we got next? This one. Seems I have more of these, and I separated them just so I could have more control over my colors. And, you know, of course, even all these three go nicely together. Although I'm not using the pearls in this round, which they are beautiful. I can't wait to use those. Okay. So just finishing up here. Okay, so that looks like a nice section. Gosh, that's pretty. Okay, so next I'm going to put on the crimp cover, and I'm going to actually spread it out a little bit. Then I'm going to add a crimp bead. Did I get it? Yeah, I did. Okay, so from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the crimp bead up a little bit and just slide this through. Then I'm going to pull it down with my fingers. And I'm going to use my pliers and just guide it close to the crimp cover as I can. However, you can bend it just a little bit like this, just to make sure that it has a little bit of give. So I like to do that. That way, you know, it's not too stiff. Okay, so it gives maybe 3/16 of an inch in between there. And it won't show at all. It'll just give it a little bit of give. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a hold of my crimp bead and get in there. Gotta get in there from the side. And I'm going to mash it. I always have a hard time with the crimp tool. Mainly because they just never seem to be the exact right size. And then, you know, I tend to break crimp beads. So, I don't know why I do that, but I like this method. And I actually learned this from Bead Box Bargains. I thought it was a really good idea. Okay, so I've made my first section. Now I'm going to make a few more sections off camera because you've already got the basics, and then I'll show you how to put them together. So I've gotten 4 sections put together. I think that'll make my necklace long enough to fit. Looks like these are about 4.5 inches long each, so that would be about 18 plus the links and the clasp. So that should be plenty for a nice long necklace. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect the parts together. I did purposely leave it so that one of the links would be in the center because I'm going to see what kind of drop I can find just to put right there. I think that would be pretty. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to use jump rings. Yay. Okay, so I'm gonna see what I can do to get them apart here. Okay, that'll work. I'm going to grab my other pliers out just so I can be able to hold on to them. I think I'll start in the center. So I'm going to, you see there's two loops here, and you know, you can push them together with your pliers just to make sure. And I'm going to run the jump ring through here and then through the link. If you need to open it up a little bit to get it to go in easier, you can do that. And so I'm going to grab one end here with my pliers. Just hold on to it. I'm going to grab the other end with these pliers. And I'm going to push them together and making sure that there are no gaps. So you might have to work with it just a little bit, but always do side to side just so you know it won't get wonky. All right, that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to put the other one on, and you know, you kind of get a natural curvature here, so that's going to work nicely. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go through this one, making sure I don't drop it, and I did. So we get to do it over. Okay, I'm going to go through the link. I'm going to hold on to it here and use these. And I'm just going to snap them together. And that's pretty much why they're called jump rings, because when you do them side to side, they snap together. So that looks nice. And I just want to make sure that, you know, I follow the natural curvature going this way. So it'll fit like a necklace. All right, we got another link here. So pick up. I like that my pliers are a little magnetized. That does help in a lot of situations. Okay, so I'm gonna run that through. Put my link on. Close it up. Okay, I felt the snap, and then I like to take my pliers and make sure everything is together correctly with no gaps. Okay, and very important, make sure everything lines up as you go. So, you know, sometimes pieces can get twisted a little bit, and we don't want it to be all tangled up. So, yeah, just pay attention, make sure everything's lined up. Okay, that looks good to me. Going to grab another jump ring. Pull it through here. And through the link. Okay, grab a hold it with these pliers. And sometimes it takes a little practice. Okay, that looks gorgeous. I like that. Okay. So, yeah, my beads are a little bit loose here, but, you know, like I said, they're fluid, so you just have to adjust where you can whenever you're putting on the crimp bead. But I think we're good. I don't mind a little bit of play in it. Not too much, of course, but a little bit is good. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be a nice long necklace. That's going to look pretty. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and Put this one in. Okay, add my link. Bring the jump ring together till it fits. It pretty much works the same whether you're right-handed or left-handed. So you can do whatever's the most comfortable for you. Okay, and one more jump ring. Okay. Go through the link. Close her up. And I always like to just make sure everything is straight. Okay, it's a nice long necklace. I'm going to try it and see how it fits. Oh, it'll be perfect. Okay. And the last thing, I've got my little flower clasp. I got that from Bead Box Bargains, of course. And it was in my stash, so I got several of them. So I thought it'd be pretty to use with this, you know, since it is kind of a floral design. So I'm going to go ahead and put my clasp on. I had already previously put the jump ring on because, you know, you experiment with a few ideas till you get what you like. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to open up my jump ring here. Always open outward, just like that. And it just keeps from distorting the jump ring. Okay. I'm going to grab a hold of it and bring it together. Make sure it's straight. Okay, I've got my clasp, and it'll hang naturally, you know, and it'll get used to being where it is. Okay, are those clasps cute? The flowers and the leaves. And I got a flower going through. And it fits through very nicely and easily. Okay, so now I want to address the center. So I could do a couple of things. One idea is I could put a drop on it, very much like the earring pattern I have over here. So that's one option. That would look cute. You know, put the bead caps on it and use a head pin to do that. So that's one option. I looked at the option of the pendant. I think, what was that, moonstone, I think? Let me check. Yep, that's a moonstone. But I think that the moonstone is a little bit too purple for this design, so I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is, I'll be right back. I'm going to explore my metal pendants and see what that would look like. Hold on just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, so I went through my bronze pendants. I felt that they were too bulky, so being that this necklace is pretty dainty, I'm just going to go ahead and use this combination of beads. And I brought out some head pins and some bead caps. And so I'm going to use that, and that'll be the basis for my earrings. So what I'm going to do is take a head pin. I'm going to put a bead cap on it. My big bead, which is so pretty. Another bead cap. Green. And the orange. I'm going to use my round nose pliers for this one. So I'm just going to take my finger and bend it back. And then I'm going to go ahead and loop it around. I'm just going to use the smallest setting here and bring it around as close as I can. Okay, till this wire's at a 90-degree angle. And I'm going to loop it onto my link. And then I'm going to just go around, and I know I don't have a lot to work with here, but I'm just going to go around and pull it around. Probably be easier just to hold it with these and then take my other pliers and loop it around. I think that'll be gorgeous. Okay. Okay. It'd be easier to tighten it up with these. Okay. So just a little bit, and then I'm going to trim it. Doesn't feel like it's going to catch. And then I'm just going to straighten it up with this, my needle nose pliers. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so there I have a gorgeous little necklace. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and do the earrings, just so we can have a matching set. And once I get done with these, I'll take some photos and I'll put them up on my website if anybody's interested in purchasing them. Just go to JackieMadeIt.com. So, hold on 1 second. Let's get that in there and get some bead caps out. So I just need 4 of them. Okay. I like the balls on the end too. Just ties everything together. They're pretty. Yeah, I'm in love with this box. This bead box is pretty. I'm not necessarily a Victorian kind of person, but definitely caught my attention. Okay, so I'm going to pull that down. Just going to use the smallest one and loop it around. Turn my pliers just until that's, you know, you've got your loop and this is at a 90-degree angle. Just like that. Okay, so probably, there's not a lot of room to work with. But I'm going to hold it with these and then just grab this end and loop it around. And I might have to mess with it a little bit and adjust. Oops, did I forget something? I did. So, not ready to loop it yet. I'm going to pull it back out just a little bit. Straighten up that ring. and of course run it through here. Okay. I have to finagle that. Sometimes you have to undo a mistake and fix it. It's normal. Okay. So now I'm going to grab a hold of it, bring it together, and try to bring that out. Okay. It's real life, folks. Okay. So bring that around. When you only got so much room to work with, you just gotta do the best you can with it, and pull it around. It doesn't have to be looped around 3 times or anything fancy. Unless you're using a wire, you could do that, but this will work. Okay, so I at least got it going, at least one turn around. And I'm going to trim my wire. Gotta get in there and be careful not to get the main part of the wire. There we go. Okay, we're under it. Okay. And I'll just kind of feel, just to make sure that there aren't any sharp edges. And then I can take my pliers and just kind of crimp them down. Just feel it with your finger. Okay, that is so pretty. Okay. I'm going to do this one and straighten out my wire just a little bit. They're thin, but they'll hold up. Okay, so okay, oops, did I forget something? Had that on, but I caught it before I did anything. Okay, 1, 2, 3, just like so. Okay, and looping it around. You don't always have to bend it back at a 90-degree angle. I mean, you can kind of do it as you go along. And I'm just bringing this around. And I'm satisfied with it. I'm going to put that on the link. I'm going to push it together just to make sure everything is lined up and easier to do here. So just pushing that together like so. And then I'm going, at least I have that to hold on to, that does help. And I'm just going to bring it around because I don't really have anything to, I don't have 2 pairs of needle nose. So maybe I should do that. Okay. There we go. So I got to a place where I'm happy. I'm going to trim my wire. It helps to put your thumb in front of it. Excuse my nails, are a little bit dry because it's cold outside. Okay, and then I'm just going to crimp that down a little bit just to make sure that I don't have anything sticking out. That's beautimous. Okay, and then I've got these bronze ear wires. I think they're so cute. So, look, the ball doesn't go over it. It'll move a little bit, but it's not going to go over it. And I like the flat end on it. So what I'm going to do is find the opening which is right here. I'm going to pull it out, add my link, and close it. And just like that, I got a pretty pair of earrings. And one more. Pull it out. Make sure it's nice and closed, snared up. Okay. Alright, and there we have today's project. So I have a beautiful necklace with the little dangle in the front. Now, these will kind of tangle up a little bit at first, but you know, you can finagle the necklace, and once you start wearing it, it'll all straighten out. It's just brand new there. Alright, maybe I should do it that way. Okay. Now I got it. Okay, so you just got a feel for it. And beautiful clasp. Alright, that's our first project with the December bargain bead box. Enjoy. I'd love to see what you create. So tell me about it in the comments below, and have a great day, and may creativity be your guide. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your comments down below. May creativity be your guide.